Hey everybody, this is Vic Benedict. Thanks for coming back to the guide. This is Chapter 10, the Aquaduct. We're playing Ninja Gaiden Black on Master Ninja. This is a long level. It's got a lot of items in it, a lot of fights, a lot of secrets. And here's the first fight here. We've got these pincer fiends here, and this is the only difficulty where these, you see these creatures right here, these laser crabs, for lack of a better name, I don't know what they're called. I was surprised because I think in very hard mode in Sigma, these larger enemies appear, but it's only on this difficulty because I was pretty much only playing this game for a long time and noting all the differences between the games and also just between all the difficulties in this game. So I don't really like these guys. In Sigma, there is a really good way to deal with these guys. You would just use exploding arrows on them. I mean, that's a great technique, and the reason I'm not recommending it, and the reason I'm not even trying to do it, is because the only way I can use an exploding arrow is to aim with it on the ground, and if I try to do that, there's just no way. I'm just baffled. I'm completely dumbfounded as to why you can't jump and shoot an arrow in this game. Anyway, so again, this is well, not again, but this is an optional fight, as is the fight in the next room. But if I were you, I would, if you want to do all the fights, that's your own thing, and you should do that. If you want to skip this fight and then go for the next fight, do what you want. But I would recommend it, if you're going to skip a fight, skip this fight and then do the next fight in the other room, because you're going to have to go through that room quite a bit. And as long as you just clear this wave, they're never going to respawn no matter what you do. So just clear these guys really quickly. I mean, this is like the main junction between all the rooms is this room out here. So as you can see, they go down pretty well. It's just that, I'll try to Azuna drop them, and then I don't have time to shuriken cancel, and then they grab me, and they deal pretty significant damage, and then they all fire the laser attack off screen, and it has some long range. It really does. So if you want to, the chapter is going to start you out with your magic, so you might as well use it. You're going to get a ton of money in this chapter. In fact, anytime you need money, this is the place to go. You can come down here whenever you want to and grind for money on the pill bugs. I called them garbage bugs in the last video. I think they're called pill bugs, but no matter what, they're just bugs. But they're dangerous. If they jump on you, it's really... I wish there was a QuickTime button or something, because there's no button prompts when these guys jump on you or when the ghost fish grab you. So if they do, jump on you, or if you get bitten by ghost fish, just mash buttons. Mash all the buttons on the controller. Don't break your controller, but try not to anyway. And just waggle your left analog stick and right analog stick, just anything you can. So I'm going to be dealing with this chapter in a very methodical way. There's one save point down here, and the thing that I really don't like is that in the Hall of Balance in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, a lot of crabs down here. In Sigma, there's a store. In here, there's not. There's only one store around here, and you really have to go out of your way to get to it. You can access it right now if you wanted to, but you might as well go to the save point first. Here's the map. I don't know why I pick these up in the journals. I don't know why I do it. I guess just so I know that I've picked it up. Anyway, there's I think 3 or 4 of these guys down here, and they spawn one right after the next. So just take these guys out, and then every time you come back in here, you don't have to fight them. It's really good. So there is a save point here, and it's just that old thing I've been saying through many of these videos, where there's just a marked lack of convenience in this game. I mean, we'll go to the Hall of Balance in the next room, and I'll show you where the store was. Save your progress first. You don't have to, but this usually contains a high potion, if I'm not mistaken, or money or something. Money, yeah. So here's the Hall of Balance. You can't go in the bar door currently. So you get a Spirit of the Devils here. So that should have 4 flames in your key gauge, provided you've done the archive trial, and I really hope you guys did that. So the store would be right below this area here, and there, the other store that I'm going to show you where it is a little later. That's still there in Sigma 2 as well. So there's 2 stores. Yeah, see, there's just no store there. So save your progress here. And now I'm going to go to the area where the pill bugs are. And the first time you go in there, there's no bugs. There's just a box to grab. And then when you try to leave the room, then the bugs will come. It's very important to note that it's very much okay to kill the first set of bugs. But the second, okay, here's how this works. You get the treasure chest, you get this little cutscene here when you try to leave the room, and then you get ambushed by the bugs. You leave the room, then you come back, and then that's the Fiend challenge. And don't ever complete the Fiend challenge, because you will get a Talisman of Rebirth for doing so. And it's a good prize, obviously. Or I should say, it's more of a reward than it is a prize, because you do have to earn it. But you don't want to finish that Fiend challenge, because while yes, a Talisman of Rebirth, that's a good item. It's worth 25,000, but you can get 1,000 Talismans of Rebirth with how much money you can grind for down here. There's no limit to how much you can grind for. A session of grinding will get you about, I would say, kill about as many bugs as you can. Try to get about, I usually go for like 20,000 in essence, then I just leave the room and then come back after saving it. So if it would be hard to actually kill 120 bugs without even knowing it. I mean, that's a long duration to be down in here. So if you think you've overstayed your welcome, the kill count is only going to be up there the first time you come in the room. So there's not going to be any way for you to know how many you're killing. But just 20,000 in essence is a good safe number. So anytime you want money, go back in that room. And you can get yourself 99,999 every time, and get a bunch of money, get your unlabored flawlessness. You really need that weapon. This is a hard fight here, because we have these laser crabs down in here. They're in a couple other rooms, and they're not on Sigma, so I really wasn't used to these guys. So I had to actually go buy some Inferno or some money to buy that. And I'm not going to actually show you where the store is until a bit later, until I actually have to go into that room to get the object and the treasure box there. I think it's a Life of the Gods. It might be, but there is a need to go there, and when I do go there, you'll know where it is. But you should know where it is anyway. Okay, so we need the key of the insect, which is right over here in this treasure box. So we have the key of the insect here. And then on the other side we have we have a Life of the Gods and a Golden Scarab. Don't bother interacting with the pedestal there where you place the tablet. We're going to go get the tablet, then we'll place it on there. So I just save it after every one of these phases, and that's why I said I'm going to do this in a very methodical manner. So just go back here and save your progress, and then we'll be doing the next step of the chapter. So we have the key of the insect. The key of the insect opens the door for the boss. So I have my Dabalahro up to level 3. I think the third upgrade costs 8,000. So have this equipped, have the Armlet of the Sun equipped if you want to deal more damage to this thing. So when he comes out, he's going to shoot energy balls or little electric balls at you. I just like to dodge at the last second, so I jump over the ball or dodge to the other side, and I don't even guard and block. I just dash and try to get a non-landing charge. Like this right there, that's a very damaging hit if you get hit by that. But this deals so much damage here that it's not even funny with the Armlet of the Sun equipped and the Dabalahro at level 3. So the main problem about this guy is when he shoots the electric balls, I would say, You're never going to fight more than 2 of these guys unless you're doing the challenges where you fight 3 of them. But just one of the main reasons is trying to build up a charge before the guy shoots the electric ball at you, and then just being precise with your dodging. You have to dodge at the last second because otherwise the computer will know where you are. So I think I got hit right there. Yeah. So just anytime, even if it's an ET charge, just go with it. It's better than getting hit. And also, when he goes into the little tunnel, you can't hit him. Like right now, if you let go of the charge and he was in there, it wouldn't hit him. So you need to wait until he is completely out of that tunnel. So there he is right there. I think he gives you 5,000 in essence. And then there's going to be a Golden Scarab in the alcove where he was. So just turn around and do a vertical wall run up here, grab that Scarab. And then when we go out of here, there's going to be nothing to the left, so don't even bother looking to the left. And then we're going to be over the Hall of Balance over here, and there's some more items to grab. One of which is the Life of the Gods. We are going to be getting another health upgrade pretty soon, so... What is this? Here's money. Yeah, that's the money. This one is... I think it's a tablet we're looking for. Yeah, there's the red tablet of the stream. Don't jump down quite yet. There's a Golden Scarab over here. And also a Life of the Gods. There is also enemies to fight down the way, but we're going to be coming the opposite way afterwards, so there's no reason to engage them. We will be fighting them presently. So anyway, just grab that item. I think we just need 2 more Life of the Gods to get our upgrade, and then go back down here and save it. And then we'll go on to the next phase of the level. The next phase, though, it's pretty tough. Only because there's a lot of crab fiends, or red laser crabs, I should say. So make sure you have some Nimpo. That's what I would advise here. And you're going to notice a little edit right there. It's because I purchased the Unlabored Flawlessness. It's a very costly upgrade, but it's a nice weapon. I love how you can do the Azuna drop with it. So in some respects, it's kind of like the Dragon Sword. It lets you do Azuna drops with the flexibility of the Dragon Sword. See right there? Very nice weapon. And obviously with the Unlabored Flawlessness, the less health you have, the more damage you deal with this weapon, which is kind of a double-edged sword. No pun intended, really, because it's not. It's a sword, I suppose. It's an interesting looking tool. So yes, if you have very minimal health, you're going to deal a tremendous amount of damage with this thing. But along with that comes a great deal of risk, because if you're at the cusp of death, then that's you're walking on the razor's edge of death. So what you want to do if you're going to be doing a strategy where you're dealing a lot of damage, and you only have a little sliver of life, you at least want to have a Talisman of Rebirth to back you up. That's the best safety net I could recommend as far as that. This room is tough. I wasn't prepared. I don't even think you do a fight here in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. And so look, there's a lot of these guys here, and then there's these laser crabs, one right after the next, and then they come in pairs, and I really wasn't even expecting this. So I dropped some Nimpo right there. I would have saved it for when multiple of those guys spawn, but I just got a bunch of UTs and things like that, and worked out well because it's a powerful weapon. The thing about this, though, it's not powerful if you have a lot of health. I mean, if you're at full health, it's not that powerful. So it's kind of a weird weapon, but I like it. It's a really fun weapon. It's a fan favorite, obviously. Imagine doing this whole game with the wooden sword, though. I don't even think you could, because it's not anything that can cut anything. But that would be the ultimate pain run, I'm sure somebody's done it too. That's the thing about YouTube. I'm sure somebody has done it. But I was looking at one of my comments on my Sigma video, and somebody said if you did newer games, you'd probably get more views. And I said, you know what? That's probably not true, because there's too much competition on YouTube, and I would just rather have fun than trying to swindle and compete for views that I, wouldn't earn. So the day I stop having fun is the day I hang up my hat, because I started YouTube with the intention of just to have fun and you know, do it as a hobby. Even though I do make a little bit of money now with my AdSense, you know, my account linked to AdSense. So I appreciate all the support you guys give me too. Really nice. So you notice I have 80,000 in essence. This is a tough area coming up. These ghost fish are not a problem. I tried to do a UT right here, but I don't believe it did anything. So this is not even difficult because you just jump down the shaft. I did kill somebody. You just jump down the shaft and then you do your flying bird flip up. You slay all these guys, and as you notice, while I'm doing my flying bird flip up here, these guys cannot grab you. So just do your flying bird flip all the way to the top, collect all the essence that these guys give you, and then just keep repeating until they're all gone. So we have another boss encounter up here, also a Golden Scarab. And another thing about convenience, there is a store down here in Sigma that's not here. So it really bothers me that the stores in this game, knowing how much they were increased in Sigma. So here's one way to deal with these goddamn ghost fish here. There's going to be a point, though, either in the labyrinth or in the core, the Imperial Palace at the end of the game, where like a technique like this is just not going to be very prudent. Also, you'll see me in another area in this chapter coming up. I'll be using the art of the fire wheels to deal with these guys, and they're all over the Imperial Palace and the stairs. Everybody knows that. Everybody hates it. It makes everything horrible. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to deal with these guys. Funny story. The first on my very hard run, I didn't even pick up the Vigorian flail because I was committed to not even killing the ghost fish. Anyway, sorry, I need to talk about this battle here. This is a tough battle. They seem to fire all their projectiles like at the very beginning of the battle, at the most. They'll fire later on, but they seem to really like to fire their electric balls at the beginning of this battle. So it looks pretty intimidating, and it is hard. But try doing this with 3 worms. There's a challenge where there's 3 worms in the missions, I believe. At least there was in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. So, you know, do your ETs, do your UTs. If you need to use Nimpo to immune yourself from damage, that's a really good idea. I don't think I even did that. Should have done that. Just wait till they get out of their holes, otherwise you can't hit them. And just, you know, if one's firing, they usually don't fire their attacks, their projectile attacks at once. So it's not like that. It's just that you know, you're building up a charge, and then you're kind of keeping your eye on both of these guys. But most of the time, it's pretty generous. I mean, look, I got a charge right there going. It looked like that guy was going to fire, so I jumped away, built up a charge. We should be getting the Armlet of Celerity pretty quickly, if I remember correctly, so we could build up our charge a little bit faster. And confrontations like this could be minimized, possibly. But back to that story I was telling you, I didn't even grab the flails in my last campaign, and then I beat the Marbus Gauntlet, and I had nothing. I had no magic items. I had some health items. I don't know what I had. I had enough healing items, but I had no Nimpo, and I did have the nunchucks. So I got pretty good at dealing with the fish on the palace, because the nunchucks are pretty much the same as the Vigorian flails as far as like the combos. You know, it doesn't have the same UTs, and you can't do the cremator move with the nunchucks, but it's pretty similar. But I was stuck on the top of the palace. I needed to get down and buy some more purchases. You know, get some more items in my inventory so I could deal with the final set of bosses on the palace. And I had to get good with those. I had to get good with those, killing those fish. So I did pretty well using the nunchucks, but I thought I would have to start my whole campaign over because I didn't pick up the flails. The reason I didn't pick it up was because I was trying to not pick up any weapons that I knew I wouldn't use, but I didn't know that the flails were actually really good. Like, I didn't pick up that weapon, and I didn't pick up the Kaitetsu, because when you're scrolling through all the weapons, I wanted to have it all streamlined so I didn't have to waste so much time scrolling through weapons that I don't even use. But it's pretty incidental. It doesn't even matter that much. These guys are very problematic if they jump on you. I mean, you could be at the fullest of health here, and then you're just dead, because if one jumps on you, you're stunned and you're trying to break free. And then if the other pill bugs jump on you, sometimes you just can't even get out of it, and that's how unfair I think this is at times with the ghost fish. There's just no reason a person should be at full health and then they're just all dead. You know, just completely dead and you're mashing the buttons like crazy, and there's just no way out. That's brokenness right there. And I hate to say it, but this game is broken in that respect, because it should let you get out of that. So I'm going to change some attacks with this UT down, or the UF. In Ninja Gaiden Sigma, I think that it has more of a diameter to that final ground blast that it is right there. I'm pretty certain of that. Its ET is pretty crappy. I mean, it's got the same kind of animation as the Dabalahro, but the thing is, it doesn't have any projectile effects like the Dabalahro does. So its ET is pretty useless. So here's I think this should be our third Life of the Gods upgrade. Upgrade number 3. So that means we have 27 of those acquired thus far. 27 of 45. Next battle is with Ghostfish, and I'm going to use my fire wheels. And I think I perish up here. I think so. You see how much money I have? I have a couple of talismans of rebirth too. This is the hard part. It really is. All these sections without a checkpoint. Okay, so the nice thing about this room is that at least if you clear all the ghost fish, that none of them ever come back. I think though, after you slay the Smaugen, that dragon, when you retrace your steps, I think you do have to kill these fish again, but that's in several chapters ahead. Yep, I perished. So this is another way to kill the ghost fish. I've seen pros using the Vigorian flail, and they'll press like X 3 or 4 times, then they'll jump, and then they'll press X again, and then that deals with the fish pretty well. So I'm just going to have to get better at them in preparation for the final level. And in fact, I think right before the boss area, when we get to the end of this chapter, I will commit to practicing it a little bit more and show you that third and final way to deal with the fish. So we'll make this chapter a little bit more complete in that regard about dealing with ghost fish. Okay, so here I think I had my maxed out money pretty much, so I was just chaining attacks. There is a door to the left, but we can't go through it. We'll be going in the reverse order after we slay Smaugen. However you pronounce that guy's name. It's very easy. Okay, so we have the blue tablet of the stream, and now we just need to place this in the receptacle. So we're coming back here, and you don't worry, the ghost fish don't respawn. And for some reason, I always think there's something over here. And in my last campaign, I got 44 of the 45 Life of the Gods, and I was really, really irritated. Because at that point, there's no way to know where you missed it. There's one somewhere in the game that I missed, but I'm not going to be I will not let that happen to this guy because I have a checklist this time. Okay, this is a tough room for me for some reason. We have, I think there's pill bugs. Yeah, there's pill bugs and the sliding imps. And I got pretty close to death over here, actually. Yeah, it's because of that right there. See how they all gang up on you and you're helpless? So I decided to use my last Inferno on here and chain some attacks if I could. Missed out on the parry right there. I was trying to parry. They were ganging up on me against that wall. I was trying to parry their attacks. Okay, that should be the last guy. That's why I like having the karma window up sometimes, because like, see the numbers, they'll flash kind of like that, meaning that it's all done in this area, we've cleared it. So that's a good item right there. I think those items cost $15,000 or essence. It's either 10 or 15,000, but I didn't know the lunar could open these doors, honestly. It might have to be a level 3 for that lunar. So don't go to the left. Those ghost fish will respawn. But that area right there that I just passed, that was where the store was. So there's no more fish over here either. So the music up here always engenders catharsis within me up here. Somehow, I don't really know. Maybe it's because we're coming full circle. So you definitely want to save it. Save it. After we've done all that, hit the save point. Now we're going to put the blue tablet of the stream in its own receptacle. So the area we need to go to is actually the room where I told you that the only store is that exists over here. So it's right over here through this door. If you're having problems getting in the door, drop a smoke bomb. I should have demonstrated it actually. Sorry about that. I will. So the only problem is that when the enemies crowd up against the doors, the computer doesn't know if you're trying to go in the door. So here's the store. Anytime you need to go to it, just go to it. This is some money. I think in Sigma that's the Life of the Gods. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention about these. I left this footage in because this is giving him 30 Golden Scarabs, and he gives you Ayane's Rations, which is essentially a low potion. So those only exist, these Ayane's Rations and such like that, and the Fragrance of Hydrangea. Those only exist on Master Ninja mode. In this game. In Sigma, you start getting those in very hard mode, so it's actually really nice. Once we get to that final Marbus Gauntlet and the final bosses and Mirai, you definitely want to have, because you can only carry so many items on Master Ninja in your inventory, so it's really, really nice to be able to carry extra stuff. If only just to kill those goddamn ghost fish on the core palace. So there's a fight here. And earlier in the video, I was telling you how when I grabbed that Life of the Gods, that we would be coming back to this area the opposite way, and that's what I meant. So just kill all these guys, and anytime you needed to come back here, I would take this route if you want to go back to the save point. And then we're gonna see that's where the Life of the Gods was. I was just showing you right there. We are going to be facing the clone Ryu pretty soon. In fact, I think that might be our next objective. So, equip your... I like to have the Armlet of the Sun equipped with this weapon here. And this guy loves to start spamming explosive arrows. But I took this is the fastest I've ever taken this guy out. And it was all due to having low life with the UF and doing Azuna drops. So I'm gonna start doing Azuna drops all the time on these guys. Look at this guy. He won't ever stop spamming that damn attack with the explosive arrows. So I'm going to switch over to the Armlet of the Moon. He'll stop doing it if you go over to him. But, I mean, look how cheap this guy is. He's so fucking cheap. And I'm just going to go to town with, because you can jump off walls and, just jump off a wall and attack with the Y button. That works pretty well, but look at these Azuna drops. It works so well here on this guy, and it takes so damn much life off his health. So you see, you can do that, and you'll get in your hits, but look at that chop, and then this final Azuna drop killed him. That's how much it takes away, because look at my health, plus the Armlet of the Sun. So, yeah, I definitely recommend you to do Azuna drops on that guy, and from here on out I'm going to be doing that, unless his AI differs any. So there's the Armlet of Celerity. Jump all the way up here, do a chop, and get this Golden Scarab before you go into the room that just unlocked, or out to the Hall of Balance, because it's really frustrating to do this right here with all the enemies, because they're going to be, even if you defeat the Fiend challenge of 120 of these pincer fiends, they're all going to respawn every time. So we are going to be doing that Fiend challenge, and since I have a maxed out money, I just decided to just chain attacks with the UF. And I'm going to leave this in real time, and I'll just talk while it's going on, because I don't think it lasts longer than like 7 minutes. So the trial starts right when you get in here, and you can move around in this whole environment wherever you want to, and it's not going to unspawn in any of the enemies. Or rather, what I was trying to say was, it's not going to, start the trial over, only if you leave the rooms. So I equipped the Armlet of Celerity, and I'm just going to do UTs on these guys. Chain UT attacks or essence attacks, whatever I can really get off, and do Azuna drops. Anyway, so you got to kill 120 of these fiends, and it's one of the easier trials in the game, and it always kind of vexes me that, like, the easier ones, like the easier trials, they give you these here, Lives of 1,000 Gods, and you really have to work for the other ones, like the Spirit of the Devils that you get from the Zarkon Fiend challenge. But there is the Great Bridge Fiend challenge in this game, which doesn't exist in Sigma, and you do get a Lives of 1,000 Gods, so I wasn't entirely correct about that. I was kind of making a generalization, but anyway, I thought I'd talk about my experience with this game a little bit while this is going on. I honestly don't know how I came across, because my first experience with this franchise was not this game. It was Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and honestly, I didn't even know it was a remake of anything. I thought it was just, an exclusive title to the PS3. I didn't even know anything about the franchise. And, see, that must have been about 3 years ago when I first picked up this copy, and it was really damn hard. I don't really even know how I found it. I think I must have been searching for hack and slash titles, and this came up. And I started playing it, and I really liked it, and I thought it was a good game. But throughout my campaign on normal, because you've got to start on normal all the time whenever you start playing these games, I thought that the challenge was too high, then that I wouldn't be able to beat it on normal, and that's a reasonable thing to say for someone who just found this game. And I said to myself, hard mode there's no way in hell, if I'm struggling so much on normal, there's no way I'll ever be able to tackle hard mode when I finally beat the game, And this was a long time ago, though, and, let alone very hard or Master Ninja, that was way out of my thinking. And it wasn't that I didn't have the confidence in it, I just didn't think that I had the skills to beat it. I thought that I had to be an even better player, and that was true. I had to practice a lot and keep playing it and get more skilled at it and keep getting my ass kicked. That's really how you get good at games, and it's really rewarding to play a game like this. And then when I got Sigma 2, I saw how drastic of a difference it was, coming from a non-linear game into a game that's completely linear, and a lot faster, more fast action, frenetic, just even too fast. But I love it anyway, and I love the game. And I beat it on, I think it was the Warrior struggled with that, you know, as much as anyone would who just came into that game. And then I came back to these games and I cleared Sigma 2 on Master Ninja, did a guide for it, but I did it. I'm not proud of the guide that exists on this channel. It's really UT heavy, spamming stuff, and I might actually considering doing another guide for Sigma 2, but I probably want to space myself from the franchise a little bit after doing this because I've been playing Ninja Gaiden too much of late, but it hasn't made me like sour towards the series whatsoever. I mean, this game is fresh to me always because I love it so much. And anyway, so that's pretty much my history with this game, and I've done a lot of my first guide I ever did for this franchise was a hard mode guide with no commentary, and I think I started to publish some of those videos on my other channel, and then I unlocked very hard and I started to beat it, and I got really good at the game, and I said to myself, you know what, let me try to beat very hard, and I did. So when I was playing on very hard and almost beating that mode, then I started to delete the videos that I was publishing for my hard run guide, simply because you know, I wanted my channel to only have the highest difficulty on it, and that's what I want on this channel too, the highest difficulty available, because, you know, I can't live with myself if I know there's a higher difficulty available to play, you know, in a game. Anyway, so we've almost got 100 kills right now, and you do get a Lives with 1,000 Gods for your victory here, and it's really nice. So it's also really fun to get all the upgrades and find everything in this game, and I'm having a blast doing this guide. I love the franchise, and I love the freshness of coming to this game and noticing all the little changes and stuff like that, coming from a strictly Sigma perspective and being able to share my views with y'all. Y'all sound like a cowboy, don't I? I don't really like cowboys, to tell you the truth, but the name Big Benedict is that's my handle on this channel, on this website, and it's based off of one of my favorite characters in the 1957 or 8 movie called Giant with Elizabeth Taylor, Dennis Hopper, James Dean, and Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson's character was called Big Benedict in that movie. I think his name was Jordan Big Benedict, and I always thought that was like the baddest ass name ever. So anyway, so this guy was really giving me a hard time. But if you've never seen that movie, check it out. I think you could watch it for free on YouTube. It's a really long movie. It's like over 3 hours. It's like kind of like Gone with the Wind as far as its scope and epicness and length too. But anyway, here's our reward over here. And as promised, I will be showing you that third and final technique that I know of to deal with these ghost fish that are going to be assaulting us in the next room. So you see how much money I have? I wasted a couple of talismans of rebirth on the boss too. I'm not really proud of it, but it doesn't mean you're a bad player to do that. Also, don't ever use those Ayane's rations until the very end of the game. You will regret it. So I'm gonna equip the flail. Did a little edit there. So I guess you just use X a lot and then jump, and you know, jumping right there, I honestly don't know how necessary that is, but I've seen the pros jump when they clear a school of fish so the other ones arrive, and it is a little bit unnecessary, but that's pretty much the way, you know, to work these ghost fish. It's not fun. It's really not fun. Anyway, do this type of wall run to get up to the Life of the Gods. It'll be number 28, I believe. And then we're going to go into the next room and deal with some dinosaurs. And the technique that I like to use on these guys is using the UF and doing a forward Y technique, or otherwise known as a power technique. So these guys here, they have two forms. This is their first form, and if you knock their mask off, they turn into this form where they gradually become redder and redder and redder. And the redder they are, the fiercer they are. So let's see if this guy gets any redder. That might be in Sigma when they changed that, because the guys would gradually become redder. But anyway, it looks like these guys are kind of falling into the same category as the nightmares, the way that if you're not looking at them, they don't really aggro too much or become aggressive, however you want to consider it. But a moment ago when I said if they lose their masks, the way you can kill them in their first form is if you have a lot, your health is very, very low and you do a UT on these guys, or possibly even a power technique. Now, you can roll, and you have iframes during your roll, so it's really easy to just roll when they're doing that kind of attack. But they have a kind of like a 3-hit combo when they're in their red form, and you can evade once, but you can't have immunity through all their combo hits. So this is the fight that you can avoid, but it's one that I wanted to demonstrate because this is the first time we're seeing these enemies. It probably won't be the last, since I know that they're in the core probably. But it is risky if you're trying to do UF techniques with very low life. See how I got iframes to that move right there? But if you had a little sliver of life and you had the UF equipped, you don't even need to have the Armlet of the Sun. One forward power technique would kill these guys. See right here? Let me see if this kills him. Okay, I don't have the Armlet of the Sun equipped. It quite possibly could have killed him if I had the Armlet of the Sun equipped, but as was evidenced right there, I mean, I have nothing for health. I have about the least health I could possibly have, so it looks like it does take... Look at this, see here? This was going to kill this guy. I remember this very vividly. So that's a kill, but look at my health. I would need to back that up with a Talisman of Rebirth. Anyway, here's a Golden Scarab. There's going to be one more near the save point. Have your Strongbow equipped. And that's a completely skippable fight, by the way. Down below with those ogres. And we're coming up on the boss, Paz Zuu. So for that fight, I would recommend having the Dragon Sword equipped and the Inferno and the Armlet of the Moon, because it's hard to not take a lot of damage on this guy. I do once switch to the Armlet of the Sun. He's an interesting boss, and I'll go over how to defeat this Wind Demon here. But for now, just swing on the tree branch, and then you want to grab this sword out of this platform first, and then save it. So if you die, you don't want to be grabbing the Brand of Valor out every single time. Anyway, just go ahead and save it right here. Okay, now we're going to jump down here and fight Paz Zuu. Make sure you have the items mentioned to fight this guy that I just told you about. This weapon, this Nimpo and the Dragon Sword. We have this Wind Demon here, and he's summoning these pincer fiends. So traditionally, you want to stay, if he's up on one of those upper platforms, stay on the other platform across from him. But if you see him using his laser attack, then try to jump off the wall so you're not on the ground. I like to fly swallow him. Pretty much, you can hit him when he's across the way. Or excuse me. Let me just let him get over there. So look, once we go over here, I like to just fly swallow very carefully, and your hits are going to take very, very small amounts of his health away, and that's kind of the game saying to you that we're giving you free hits, and you just need to keep hitting him, and we're going to give you little incremental damage off him. But the game, it doesn't always mock you in that way, because after you've hit him enough times, he'll kind of fall down, and you'll get a lot of free shots on him. And then those hits, they actually start dealing normal damage that you could be proud of, and that won't make you so frustrated. So anyway, So just keep chasing him across the arena and do your flying swallows. Just watch out for his slash attack. Now I'm going to go over to him, and I think here I press XX triple Y to do that move, but the Azuna drop is actually much preferable. So every time he gets about a quarter of his life taken off, he'll summon more lackeys, so just take them out with the Inferno. If you want to, every time he falls down, you can switch to the Armlet of the Sun and deal more damage to him that way. Just watch out for he's got those Talon wings, and in the process of your flying swallows, he likes to, he's got huge range. I mean, it's really hard to get out of the way of his attacks when he's doing that, but if you're guarding and you're on the very edge, you're going to be pretty much okay, like it was right there. But you see how he knocked me aside right there. You also don't really want to be underneath him when he stomps or when he jumps up, because that takes away quite a bit. It's not game over kind of damage, but you just want to do nice little clean slices on him when he's in this mode. Obviously we're not getting huge damage pieces off him right now, but this, you have to get over to him really quickly and see this. And I'm like, okay, the Azuna drop is definitely the way to go. So more lackeys here, and pretty much just use your Inferno to take these guys out. You've got to watch out for his laser beam attack. It goes in a straight line, but wherever it ends up, it's going to cover the whole floor from left to the right. So you have to watch out. See, I thought I would have a little bit of immunity, but I didn't have. I wasn't body slamming the enemy at that point. That's why. That's the only time you get immunity with the Azuna drop. So I use both Talismans of Rebirth over here, but even after you've beaten this guy, you could still go back to the Fiend challenge where the pill bugs were and just get all your 99999 money back, so you can recoup your losses over here. They shouldn't be too great of losses. I mean, this is it's just a drawn out fight that I don't particularly care for, but it's not overly challenging. Here I was standing under him for some reason. If you want to try to just completely go behind him, that might work a little bit differently though, but it's another choice that you have, so you don't have to fly swallow him if you don't want to. Here I was equipping the Armlet of the Sun to deal more damage to him. I probably should have had the life or that Armlet equipped during all the phases when I was hitting him, but it's kind of a hassle just to keep going into the menu just to switch that. Not much else to say. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Every time I come off a flying swallow, I just roll away onto the farthest corner so he can't hit me. But a lot of the times he just ends up hitting me. He also loves to, if you think you're going to anticipate which side of the arena he's going to, he'll go to the other side just to mock you. So it's really, kind of makes you irritated. So if you just want to see how I'm staying back here, I was just also trying to show another way to hit him. You can hit him in his ass area over here, and from that vantage point, you wouldn't be getting hit by his Talon wings. Also, you have to hit him directly on the head. You see how a moment ago, if you want to rewind that, I was hitting him on on the side of his body, and the only area where the game permits you to hit him and to get realistic damage off of him is his head, his cranium. What would it be called? His skull. And it's just a lot of running around, a lot of evading. See, running off the wall, trying to save myself. I still got scorched. It's it's one of those fights where I always take a lot of damage, and usually I really don't care about that, because we're given these items in the game, these Talismans of Rebirth. It doesn't mean you're a poor player for having to use them. Not at all. I mean, as long as you can just beat the boss, it's fine, in my opinion. I mean, that's all I strive for. I don't strive for perfection, but if I'm not satisfied with footage I'm getting, I don't publish it. But you know, this is fine enough for me. I'm not a complete and utter perfectionist, but I do like to have. I am anal in some respects. But speaking of that, just keep stabbing his ass over here. And it looks like this should be the final finishing touch we need to deal this guy some massive damage. And then he is the gatekeeper to Zarkon. And I will see you in Zarkon. We're getting there by and by. We're going to the path of Zarkon in the next chapter. But got the Master Ninja ranking for doing all those kills.